and welcome to this lesson on e-communication. The internet is a wonderful tool that has changed our lives for the better, but unfortunately it isn't all good. Today we're going to discuss some dangers of the internet, including chat room stalkers and the sensitive issue of internet pornography. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to say why precautions need to be taken when using chat rooms, explain why many organizations have software to block unsuitable material and how this software works. The beauty of the internet is that it belongs to everyone. However, this means that it can also be a lawless cyberspace, a place where any information can be put up for anyone else to see. The problem is that some of this information is not correct. In addition, some things are just not suitable for all audiences. For example, violence and swearing can upset sensitive viewers. That's why we have age restrictions on movies to warn people about what kind of material they will be seeing. But on the internet, there's nobody guarding the door, and age restrictions don't work very well. This means that we have to be careful whenever we go online. We have to be especially careful when we're in public forums like a chat room. Online chat rooms are a great way to meet new people and share ideas, but they can also be dangerous and can be used by criminals. Just listen to this true story about what happened to a young girl who was playing on her mother's computer at work and entered a chat room.
About a year ago, Lisa and her friends were playing on the computer and decided to go onto a chat room site on the internet. They'd never done this before and thought it would be fun. Soon they started chatting to a boy. He said he was 15 and seemed nice, so they would chat to him for about half an hour each day. After a week, he asked if they wanted to meet him. They said yes, as it would be nice to meet their new friend, but nobody had told them about the dangers of chat rooms. Luckily, they decided to go together. He gave them an address of where to meet him as well as his cell phone number so they could call him when they arrived. In return, they gave him one of their cell phone numbers. On the arranged day, they went to the meeting place and only saw two men in their 40s standing outside. They looked like they were waiting for someone, but there was no 15-year-old boy around. They decided to call the cell phone number they were given. That's when one of the men answered his phone, and they knew straight away that these men were pretending to be their 15-year-old friend. Luckily, they turned around and went home. One of the guys kept phoning for a couple of days, then he stopped. Luckily, they hadn't given him their home addresses. As you can see from what happened to Lisa and her friends, you should never give out any personal information about yourself in chat rooms. And definitely do not arrange to meet anyone because you just don't know who you've been talking to.
So did you get any tips from Lisa's story? Well, let's have a look at a few important safety tips to remember when you're using chat rooms. The do's. Do use the internet to meet children from other countries or to keep in touch with pen pals who live far away. Remember, some ISPs host chat rooms especially for children and monitor them for safety. Find out about existing programs sponsored by your school or other reliable organizations like Telkom. Do be careful when talking to strangers on the internet. They might not be who they say they are. The don'ts. Don't give any personal information to anyone you meet on the internet. Your family address, phone number, credit card number, school name, or your picture should always be kept private. Don't arrange to meet anyone from a chat room in real life unless you tell your parents or a teacher first. Remember that some people will lie about who they are, how old they are, and why they want to meet you. You could be putting yourself in danger. To be safe, use chat rooms that are monitored for your protection. These chat rooms have rules and people are paid to read all the messages that are posted in a chat room, and anyone found breaking the chat room rules is immediately warned or kicked out. MWeb, for example, has 60,000 registered chat and instant messaging users, and they have teams of moderators who monitor all their chat sites 24 hours a day. To find out more, we paid a visit to MWeb.
Thanks, Dawn. It's Julianne from MWeb. We're an internet service provider, and we pride ourselves on being able to set an environment for our members to be able to surf safely on the internet. We've got a lot of products that we put in place to be able to enable this safe surfing on the World Wide Web, and one of them is parental guidance. One of the things that this does is allows the parents to be able to block or whitelist certain websites on the World Wide Web. Blacklisting means that we ban it, block it, and this could be content like pornographic, sexually explicit content, or even gambling, and some chat sites that are quite harmful. It's important to know that chat rooms really can be safe. They're an environment for people to meet, to be able to communicate freely on the web. But it's important to know that you've got to put checks and measures in place around chatting on the web. MWeb have a couple of chat rooms, and what we do to be able to safeguard our chatters on the web is to put a moderator in place. A moderator is someone who monitors from an MWeb perspective all of the chat rooms and ensures that any abusive language or even someone who's harassing other people on the chat room are actually banned or blocked off the chat site.
Now we need to change the subject and talk about another aspect of the internet, pornography. You've probably heard of pornography before. Experts have defined pornography as any sexually explicit material whose main purpose is to cause sexual arousal. But you may ask, what's the difference between pornography and a sexy picture, like a woman in a bikini or a guy in his underwear? The truth is that what some people find pornographic is not necessarily what another person would call pornographic. I guess you could say that sexy pictures are suggestive because they suggest sex without showing it. But pornography is explicit. This means it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. It is illegal for anyone younger than the age of 18 to view pornography. Schools, internet cafes, libraries, and other public internet facilities therefore use special software packages like NetNanny to restrict users' access to the web. These packages can be installed by teachers, parents, or anyone else who wants to restrict users' access to the web. The software works like this. First, you enter a list of words that you want to block. Then, as someone surfs the net, the computer checks to see if any of the blocked words appear on the web page they are trying to view. If the computer finds any of those keywords on a website, it blocks access to that site. This is a good way to prevent people from viewing unsuitable material. Your ISP also has a responsibility to make sure that all the information that is accessed is legal and monitored. There are now new laws that make internet service providers accountable for the information they host and for the information they allow children to view. So, the ISPs have also started using website blockers. Some people might say that blocking websites goes against your right to access information. What do you think? Perhaps you should discuss this issue with the rest of the class. In this lesson, we've seen how the authorities, schools, ISPs, and parents are trying to make the internet safe. But if you find any offensive material or dangerous chat room characters on the web, phone the South African Internet Child Pornography Hotline for help. The number is 0800 148 148. Now here's your task. Make a list of precautions to be taken when using chat rooms. Find out what software your school is using to block out pornographic material. Well, thanks for joining us, and don't forget to visit our website for more information. Until next time, goodbye.